source of positivity, energy, motivation, sanity, sensibility, you have to ensure that you as a source are enriched in it. So first is that you empower the source that is you. If you are fine, the world is fine. If you are happy, you will go and make 10 other people happy. If you are motivated and empowered, the world around you will be sorted. So A is do that. Okay, and I'm just going to put this here. And also I tell you that, oops, sorry, I'm just trying to fix this so it doesn't fall off. All right, no problem. Okay, so you have to understand that as much as you are dealing with differently abled people, you are also different. Let me tell you, you are different from millions of people, because not everybody thinks beyond themselves. It takes a very, very special person to say, yes, I have problems. Yes, I have financial problems. I have problems at home. I have problems with my health, but I will sort all of that out. Or not to worry, that's too small. Let me go out and help a larger world. That's a very different, very rare, very beautiful, and a very special person. So when you feel that you're dealing with people with special needs, know that you are very, very special. Yes, and not, I wish everybody thought like that, but not everybody does. And I have seen this because I have interviewed a lot of people who are in the service industry, who are serving out of themselves. I have seen people take all their money and put it into projects, all their time and put it into projects. You know, sometimes they have ignored themselves, ignored their health, ignored their family to serve a higher humanity. And I've always asked that, you know, what makes you tick? Why do you do this? What keeps you going? And each one of them, you know, some of them don't have that background, but a lot of them personally came through a lot of suffering, you know, and these were people who went through a lot in life. It could be a financial crisis, it could be health crisis, it could be personal crisis, and they came out of it. And they said, Priya, when I see other people suffering, I feel if I can do this, if I can stand on my feet, if I can build my life again, they can also do it, you know. And sometimes when you see people who are challenged, especially children, you know, you want to reach out and tell them it's a beautiful world and you can do it. So I find that people who are serving, they have found the knack of converting suffering into service, you know, and that I feel is the highest form of evolution, where you have moved beyond suffering and now you serve other people despite of that. So that for me is incredible, and it's very important that we first recognize this in ourselves. Because if I feel I am good, I am sorted, you know, and I am special, then I can go out and deal with any crisis. Like this COVID crisis that has come, the pandemic that has come, is just one of them. You've seen worse. You've seen worse times. You know, these times will also pass. Yes, this is a time when everything has come together, but one by one, one-on-one, you've seen it all. I mean, somebody who's into humanitarian services, that person has seen a lot of things there. The world is still protected from. So how to handle this? If the crisis is coming from all sides, then I also have to first empower myself from all sides. And do you know, the fastest, the biggest, the surest way to empowerment is acknowledgement and recognition. You know, I really appreciate how Gayatri recognized me and my mother. It would be so nice if you can do that for yourself. It would be so nice, you know, as a tip, if you write a profile about yourself, who you are, what you've done, what your journey has been, and that acknowledgement brings power. Have you ever felt that when you were appreciated, you got more power and you said, I can do more, you know? So don't wait for somebody to appreciate you. It's tough times, at least appreciate yourself, acknowledge yourself. And look, you have been through the past, and I am sure you've had challenges. And now the challenges that you see, sometimes we feel, how will I do this? How will I survive this? There's a financial problem. The children are not listening. My work is suffering, my family is suffering. I also don't know what is happening because the whole world doesn't know what is happening. You understand how much of confusion is coming in our space, that sometimes it's difficult to keep our eyes on the goal, to keep that purpose strong. At that time, it's very, very important that you pick up your past. When can you remember a time when things were really tough, where you didn't think that, where you thought perhaps life could end, that this could be the end of the job, end of the family, end of my health, but you made it, right? Which means you're a survivor, which means things change, which means tables turn, and it's very, very important to keep that hope alive. It's very important to know this for a fact, that this too shall pass. And how do you know that? Because it has happened to you in the past. So keeping your past as an inspiration, keeping self-acknowledgement that I've survived it, I have been there, and it all ended. Look where I am. After those bad times, there were good times. So keeping the hope up and keeping your chin up becomes very critical. And let me tell you, when you reach out to people to help them, you are the kind of person who's standing tall. How many times you fell in life? How many times you wanted to quit? How many times you were pinned down where others told you it will not happen? Where somebody else told you, give up. Why are you struggling so much? Why are you suffering so much? But you didn't. You did not give up. You stood up and you did something. Now, not everybody is like that. When you see the people around you, the people you're trying to help, maybe they have believed others when they said that, you can't do this. They haven't yet stood up. They have not started walking. They don't believe in themselves. And that is where you come in, not just as help. Don't think you're just being a help. You're coming in as an example. And that is the greatest help. Don't shy away from telling people your roots, where you came from, how you started, what your project is, what your purpose is. Because sometimes that touches and inspires people more than anything else that you can do in the 2 hours or the 5 hours that you have. Yeah. So, and I feel that people sometimes need to see that. If they don't see it in you, it's not going to happen. No amount of words can do this. Now, here is the thing. How do you stay positive, stay energetic, and stay on purpose in these tough times? Because these are tough times. I was speaking with Gayatri earlier how things are at the moment, and it looks challenging. The thing is, there is a future, but there is a delay in the chaos being settled down. And you know what? The kind of crisis that we have been hit with, we all are set back in our goals by 2 to 3 years. So many plans we had. In fact, this year we are celebrating 25 years of motivational speaking. I complete 25 years, and we had a big celebration planned for the year, and we were in lockdown. So, and we had so many plans, so many launches. None of that can happen, which means my personal and professional goals are set back by 2 years. Here's the thing now, you're not alone. Everybody is going through the same thing. Everybody is fearful. If you think you are doubtful, everybody is. I don't know one person who's singing a song, la la la, and saying, it's such a good life and all is sorted. From the watchman in my building to the caretaker to me to my staff, everybody's confused and asking each other what will happen. Yes. So let me tell you, first thing, understand. And again, don't go by what I am saying. You go by what is the truth about your life. Okay. How do you recognize the truth? Have you experienced it? Do you agree with it? Does it make sense? Now look, it is very, very clear that as a humanitarian, as somebody who is service oriented, you are the source, correct? You are at the center of it. Sometimes people look at you and they get energy. That I am sure so many of you must have heard this, that you went to look after someone, you went to do something, and they said, you have come, no, now everything will be all right. that your presence brings faith, your presence brings hope, that your presence brings a relief. So you are the source of it all, and the source needs to be empowered every single day. The one question people ask me is how to stay motivated, how to stay happy, how to stay inspired. And I tell them it's a daily job. If you think one webinar, one talk, one video once a month will work, it will not work. It's a daily job. Like food, you have food for the body, you need food for the mind, and you need food for the soul. So I will tell you a few tips, and what I'll also do is at the end of my webinar, I'll summarize all the points like reflection points in a PDF, and I'll send it to Gayatri in case you all want to refer to it again. Yeah, because I understand sometimes in the webinar taking notes is, a little not okay. So how do you empower yourself? First is food. Did you know food has a very big impact on our mind? Okay, what you eat will determine how you feel. For example, if you eat a lot of bread, if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, you're going to feel sleepy. In India, they say after lunch, if you have a lot of rice and rotis, you're going to go to sleep. In fact, you can look at what is on a person's plate, and you will also know how much work he's going to do today. Yes, so food is a very, very important part. Now, sadly, nutrition doesn't even form a large study section in medical science. So the doctors also are more educated in medicine than nutrition. So please invest a little bit of time in what you are eating, because it's going to decide your health. It's going to decide your mood. If you have too much sugar, you're going to be sluggish. If you have too much alcohol, let's not get there only. All right. So food is very, very critical. So I look after my food. Do some study. It will help you. And you will also find food is medicine. See, you are looking after human beings. Ultimately, human beings are bodies, right? You need to know how the body works. You need to know the mechanics of it. And if you can help yourself, if you can keep yourself in a cheerful mood and so on, you're sorted. So consult, do one online free nutrition course and study. Food is important. If you sort out the food in your life, you are sorted. Second is environment. Please build an environment around you of positivity, because it will impact you. See, right now the environment is impacting us, right? What is there in the space outside is affecting our lives, but there is also an environment that you can control, right? Your house, set it up such that it brings you energy and it brings you power. Okay, I have people who have put a little temple around their place. They made a little study, that when you go there, you feel good. Sometimes when you go to a religious place, you feel very good because of the vibe and the energy. So make your little space of energy around. Okay, it goes a long way. How your room is, how your house is it clean, is it not clean? Have you not gone into somebody's house, entered their house and got a headache? That the energy was so disturbing. And sometimes when you clear the clutter and when you clear everything out, it really sorts out your head. I'll tell you, when this lockdown started, I was also very confused. What are we going to do? And I'm the kind of person who loves to travel. Sometimes for a 1 hour workshop, I travel for 3 days. I'll take 2 flights, 1 boat, and do my 1 hour talk and come back to exotic locations. I have traveled to 47 countries. Every time I travel abroad, I also take my mother, and now I'm locked down. And with no clarity of the future, that when will this ever open again? So for 3-4 days, I just could not think. Now look, if for 3 days or 4 days, you are going to be hit and confused, let me give you a written guarantee. It will continue for another 3-4 days, another 3-4 days, and another 3-4 days. It's very, very important that you take control of your life, okay? And willingly, not that somebody is forcing you. So in that time of confusion, I clean my house. I clean my room, I clean my cupboard. At least that much I can do, right? That much I can sort out in my environment. Because control is control. that if I can handle this, now what else can I handle? And you have to give yourself a reminder that I am in control, that no matter what is happening, there is something I can do for sure in this moment. When does a person give up? When does a person become helpless? When they feel I can't do anything. You know, a person who has given up, a person who is on the ledge, you know, waiting to jump off, that person truly believes I can't do anything. It will make no difference. So continue to give yourself little steps of control. I know it sounds silly, but hasn't it ever been that you cleaned up one whole thing and you felt very good about it? You know, when you look and you say, wow, I did this. Yeah, so give yourself practice to create a very good environment. Okay. Now, why is this critically important for you? Because the people that you deal with don't believe they are the source. They think you are the source. They think you have the answer. They will ask you, Gayatri, you tell me. You know, aap batao. And sometimes they will only do what you say. They will put their mind, their wishes to hold, and you will become the decision maker for them. Now, you better be sorted. Now, imagine somebody depends on you and you are only confused and frustrated. You will play out all your insecurities on that person, right? So it's very important that you are sorted, because the people that you are dealing with have not taken full responsibility of their life right now. Therefore, you have to take double the responsibility. So A is sort out your food. Please take care of that. You know, even this virus, it will attack a weak body. Did you know that? If your immune system is high, it's not going to affect you. So, and how do you improvise your immune system? In fact, I wrote so many articles, I did so many videos requesting the media that how much scare you're putting about the virus. No, also tell us how to increase the immune system. At least educate the public a little bit. So, immunity develops from your food. So, do that. Create a very good environment. Now, every single day, and people ask me, how are you happy? How are you sorted? Like I said, it's a daily indulgence, a daily job. Sit with yourself for some time. And I understand as a housewife, as a full-time person who is working and also doing humanitarian services, it's difficult. But some silence also helps. Sitting with yourself helps. And I am testimony to that. Before my workshops, every time before my workshop, and I tell you, my work I take very seriously. I understand that 200 people who are going to listen to me, somewhere they will change their mind about negativity. Somewhere they may be reminded I can do it. Somewhere they may get a little hope. Do you know how big a responsibility that is? That if I goof up, if I don't do a good job, people will say, "Kuch bhi, another one speaking, get lost," or "I was better off." People don't listen. You know that. Nobody listens to anybody. Your spouse doesn't listen. Your children don't listen. The teachers are complaining. Students don't listen. Nobody listens. So why will somebody listen to Priya Kumar? So before I go on stage and talk, I spend half an hour in silence. And sometimes people don't leave you. But I will go sit in the toilet for half an hour alone, silent. I was watching a video of a very dear friend. His name is Sonu Nigam. You may know him. He's a legendary singer in India and known the world over. So he was telling, he does these videos. So he was saying, before I start anything, I spend 1 minute in silence, reminding myself, why am I doing this? Why am I singing this song? Why am I, writing these lyrics? Why am I creating this music? And that 1 minute brings so much power. Try it. See, there can be 10,000 excuses. I don't have time. My children are here. I'm late. I have to cook. You can't take out 1 minute. Go sit in the toilet 2 minutes extra without your phone. There are people who take the phone also in the toilet. They have time. Spend 2 minutes there and remind yourself, why am I doing this? And that will bring you energy and power and clarity that will last at least 24 hours. Not a lifetime, not even 2 days sometimes. And why it won't last 2 days also? Because there's so much negativity coming now. I mean, if you see how much negativity is coming 24/7. In fact, I had to tell some people, please stop forwarding me these coronavirus messages. I am fed up. I am well informed. I can find my own news. You don't have to be journalists and send me stuff. So because there is so much negativity coming, that little 5 minute, 10 minute, 1 minute is not going to last for a week. No, it is going to last maybe that day, right? Then it's very, very critical to remind yourself of your purpose. You know, what I do sometimes is I write. Why do I do this? I'll write it on my mirror. I'll write it around so that I always remember. Because, you know, sometimes we land up telling people, I'm doing this for you. You know, you don't know what I'm doing for you. And we try making it about the other person. And then they think and say, hey, don't do for me. Have you not been in a position where somebody's told you, all this I did for you? And in your head, you're thinking, A, I did not ask you. B, I'm not interested. 3, keep it to yourself. You know, so we forget and we start accusing people on a purpose that we want to do. So always to remind myself, I am doing this for myself. I am doing this for me because it makes me feel good. It makes me feel productive. It makes me feel, proud of myself. When I go and I help other people, it's because of me, because that's who I am. I cannot face myself in the mirror that, Priya, you did not help somebody today. Now that person came in, I should be thankful to that person, not accuse that person I did it for you. So remind yourself of your purpose, and it's always personal. Others are beneficiaries. You know, I'm writing this book on this very, very influential man in Dubai. His name is Vasu Shroff. So I love writing biographies. You should also do that. It's very empowering. You know, interview people, especially the young kids here. Interview successful people. You'll understand their journey, and you will understand that life is beautiful. So this man, he's made schools around the world. Okay. And he says, one day I was sitting in my office and this lady came to me and she held my hand and she said, thank you, Dada, thank you, Dada. So he said, why are you thanking me? So the lady said that you gave admission to my son in your school. So I came to tell you, thank you. So Dada, everyone calls him Dada, he's 80 years old. So he stood up, he took her hand and said, Madam, I thank you for bringing your son to my school. Such a beautiful school I made. If your children don't come, then what shall I do with that school? You understand? So to know that your purpose is to serve others and you are grateful to them that they came into your life, so you have an opportunity to serve. You know, so the thank you should go from you every day, every single day, to every child you meet and every little work that you do. Thank you for allowing me to serve you. It makes me feel good. I feel bigger. Yes. So do that. Remind yourself every day of your purpose. Okay. Now, what I always encourage people to do is study. You have to be a student for life. You know, I have a friend who has this tagline, student for life. I loved it, you know, and these are people who are really big, that every week you should study. You know, I was told this by my mentor. His name was Dr. Patel. He's no more. And he told me, Priya, every year, if you're not adding one skill to your kitty, you will deteriorate. You will be unhappy. You will never grow. And you know what is worse? People who don't grow, they don't let others grow also. Because when you are not doing something new and exciting in your life, you will tell others it's no use. Why are you doing this? What is the purpose of that? What will you get? You're wasting time. You're wasting money. Every year of my life as a teenager till today, I learned a new skill. I learned filmmaking. I learned editing. I learned how to cut your hair. So I have come in very handy in the lockdown because I can cut hair. You know, I can make eyebrows. I can do so many things. I can stitch. I can cook. So one skill you must add in your kitty every single year. One major skill. And I would say study, study, and study. There is enough time, trust me. If you, I mean, you can be honest with yourself. Somebody who says, I don't have time, I want to watch you for one full day and tell you how much time you're wasting. You know, or ask your mother. She will tell you how much time you're wasting. At any age, ask your mother. Even if you're grown up, call your mother. Do you think I'm wasting time, mama? She'll say, of course. That's what I've been telling you. So now those are weaknesses. We don't see it. Then ask, where do you think I'm wasting time? Okay, A, B, C, D. And now take some time out to study. And let me tell you one thing. If you don't do this, you will suffer. And if you suffer, if you become unhappy, then the world is already gone. All those people who depend upon you, they can't do anything anymore because they are only looking at you. Do you know, as a motivational speaker, and I know your job is similar, you know, you are going 3 steps ahead of a motivational speaker and actually doing something. You know, when we go up on stage, there's this very famous dialogue every motivational speaker says. They say, even if one person's life changes, I will consider my job done. You are taking one life. You are ensuring that one life changes. And that is amazing. You know, so if you become low, if you become demotivated, imagine what will happen to that person who depends on you. You know, you are the heart and the brain of the body. If you see the 2 most important organs, and if you see, these are the 2 organs that are the most protected. Your brain is in the skull, because if your brain dead, you're gone, you're finished, your body is finished. Your kidneys can't help you, your eyes can't help you, no senses can help you. You see how critical the brain is. You can say, oh, but kidneys are working okay. But sorry, the body is a vegetable. The heart, if it stops beating, it's game over. So you are literally like the brain and the heart for humanitarian services. And if you see, these 2 organs are the most well protected. Like the heart is very caged in the rib cage, is protected by the rib cage, right? You have to first hit the rib cage, only then you reach the heart. The skull as well. Every other part of your body is exposed. It can easily be hit, right? So think, our body is also designed like that. Similarly, you need to form a protective layer around you of positivity. And that you have to build every day. Sadly, it doesn't come like a one-time fix-all. One skull is made, it's done. You have to create this skull every day. You have to create, like how you wear a helmet every day. Like that every day you have to wear this whole thing, this whole process, this whole ritual of positivity. Number 1, sit with yourself. Look at the plate, look at the food you cook, change the food for your family, and you will see how they feel good. Include supplements, study something on nutrition, create a beautiful environment. You know, that much is in your control. Study, spend some time in silence, and learn a new skill. And this lockdown is a great time to do that. So if you continue to do this, you will become a never-ending source of energy and positivity, that you will be forced to spread yourself out, you know, like how Gayatri is doing, from a little bit to more, to more, to more countries, to more communities, to more people. And how do you bring them in? Through your example. I know it's tough. I know it's very easy for me to sit in my house here in Bombay and give you a lecture. It's very easy. Yes, but it's very tough to do it. But I feel that it's simple things. You know, we make it tough, but it's simple things. If you take care of the simple things, the complicated things will sort out themselves. You know, if you just smile a lot, half the problems are gone there only, right? That people will think everything must be okay then. You know, it's that phenomena. Have you ever stood in a crowd and one fellow started looking up suddenly? And then everyone starts looking up. What is he looking at? You don't even know that fellow. You don't know what he's looking at. But you're very curious, what is he seeing? Same way, if you smile, people follow you. Can you imagine? 6 people looking up, you also start looking, what are they looking at? Hey, so imagine if that silly thing works. If you just smile, you wake up in the morning and smile, and your smile is stuck to your face. People think everything must be okay, right? Why is she happy? Now you share something good. You share something nice. You know, I had a question by someone who wrote that the kids are very distracted today. They are playing video games. You know, that while there are these online things going on, we give them the mobile phone, then they get stuck on the video game. Can I tell you why children play video games? Okay. Now, I don't know. See, I came from a very black and white era, you know. So I am 46 years old. So 46 years ago, imagine my childhood, we had no video games. Even if there were, we couldn't afford it. Thank God my parents were not as rich, you know, that they couldn't give us all these facilities, so we were not entitled. Everything we wanted, we had to earn. Now, do you know why people and kids and even adults play video games? Number one, they want to win. They want to win, because in a video game, in 10 minutes you can win or lose, right? Right. So when you're playing a video game and it goes to end of the level, if you win, you go forward. If you lose, you come back. Everybody wants to win. And you will see children who are every day told, you're good for nothing, do this, who are overprotected, who are, you know, sometimes children are not allowed to think. These kids want to win. They play a video game and they feel good. And you know what? When they lose, nobody is shouting at them from the video game. One head is not coming out and saying, hey, you're useless and you can't do anything. You can't play one level also well. Yeah. If you lose, no problem. You start all over again. Okay. And that's how you go forward. And you know, that fellow will go from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. He wants to do all the levels because they love challenges. Now imagine there is a 6-year-old boy who loves challenges. You know that because he's playing the video game. He loves to win. That is a genius. Now you need to involve that child in a challenge. And when he loses, don't bop his head and say, good for nothing fellow. Yeah? Or where are you? Where is your attention? The video game doesn't do that. It is kind. It just simply puts you back to square one. Right? So as parents, your competition is with that video game. Your child is listening to that video game more than he's listening to you. So use the same strategy. They need a challenge. Give them a challenge. Be creative. You know, a humanitarian, a person who's serving people is a creative person. You know, I heard Akshay is learning, you know, sign language. Gayatri did plenty of courses. You're learning, right? You're learning how to communicate with people so that they understand and so that you can help them. You learn that language. Find a way to give them a challenge. So we have dishes. We have 30 dishes and we have 5 minutes. Let's see who does it. You know, and in the video game, what is your reward? A big round of applause. Do that. Are you doing that on a daily basis? Are you celebrating small victories? If your son has finished his homework, do you stand up and give him an applause? No, you don't. That's why he goes to that video game. Because at the end of the level, have you seen the fireworks that happen when they pass level 1? You feel so good. Where are the fireworks at home? Do that. Now we feel good about it. You feel good when you acknowledge. Give them a challenge, and challenge can be anything. You know, I told you I came from the black and white era. So we used to live in Chandigarh and we used to come to Delhi to our cousin's house. And my cousins were really old. So one time they said, we are giving you a challenge. You have to see, we will see how many bottles of water can you fill the fastest. Whoever fills the fastest will win a prize. There was no prize. The prize was, now you go to the terrace and you can watch all the kites flying. But prize is a prize, right? We were doing all the housework in fun. There was challenge, there was victory, there was celebration. If there was a mistake, there was no annoying lady telling you off. They just said, sorry, tun, 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 that music. They take that music, you know, oops, and now go back to level 1. So that's how you handle children and their challenges. Okay. And let me tell you, the true source of happiness. Where does happiness come from? And you know this, you've done this, you do this every day. Happiness comes from overcoming challenges. Happiness does not come from watching TV. Happiness does not come from gossip. Happiness does not come from wasting time and browsing the internet and, you know, going on social media and seeing how many likes you have. Happiness comes from overcoming challenges. For that, challenges have the power to contribute to your happiness if you can be creative enough to beat them. So this was a little bit of my talk. I mean, in the end, you knew all of this. You know, I mean, you have been in the service industry for so long and you know how this works on a daily basis. But you know, sometimes we forget. Sometimes we forget our own formulas. It's like you have that key, but now you've forgotten where you kept it. And it's very frustrating when you can't find it. You know, it's at home. You know, you have it with you. You know, you have it within, but you can't find it. And then somebody says, is this your key? You know, it was right there. So I am that person who's coming to your house and just showing you, is this your key, to remind you. That's about it. It's not that I said anything new or anything, you know, which was you haven't heard before. So that was a little bit of my talk, and I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have. Although Gayatri did send me a few questions, but if you have it here online, I could answer that. Otherwise, I can address the ones that were given to me. So how do we do this? I'm just pulling out the questions that Gayatri had also sent. Akshay, do you want me to take it up from what is written to me, or shall I? So I will tell you, Gayatri had written this question: how to handle tantrums of kids and depression in old age. Okay, so can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So let me tell you, depression comes from not doing anything productive. The minute you are sitting idle and too many people telling you, don't do this, don't go here, don't eat this, don't, if you collect at least 10 don'ts, trust me, it will lead to depression. You should only say do. That's it. A do beats depression, don't leads to depression. Let me give you an example. My grandmother, she was 82 years old. She was 86 years old when she was living with us. Like, she developed, you know, this mental condition where she would forget things. So she would go out of the house and, you know, get lost, and we had to look for her. We had even put a badge of her name and address. You know how old people, I don't know if that time it was called Alzheimer's, but we had a very tough time. Okay. Now look, you have an old grandmother, and for those of you who have grown up with your grandmothers, they are your heroes. They are your queens of the world. You know, they are your sources of energy. Have you ever felt that way about your grandmother? You know, and then one day she forgets, and now you're telling her, don't get out of the house. Don't. That will lead to depression. So here is what I used to do. She used to sleep for some time. Now, the time that she was awake, we had to give her something to do. Okay. So we used to give her kitchen work. You know, the peas, you peel the peas, take out the peas, you know, do something, sit with something, sort out this. You know, what we used to sometimes also do is get that whole coin box. Every day we used to take out that coin box and tell her, Mati, can you please sort out the coins for us? Now my grandmother would sit sorting out coins, you know, and then we would push the dog over and spoil them. Then she would do it again. Then we would make these blank calls to the temple and, you know, just pick up the phone and tell her, can you sing for the priest for an hour? And she used to sing. We gave her so many activities to do, which were like really silly, but for her, she was occupied. And I tell you, she was a happy soul. Happiness comes in doing, not in restriction. So allow the kids to do something. And phone does not qualify as anything. You know, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp is not doing something. That is further depressing, right? So give them activities to do, and not necessarily to spend money. It could be anything. Get creative. So boredom, creativity. TV leads to more boredom. You know, it's like sugar. The more you have, the more you want it. So addiction to social media, if you leave and if you engage your kids and the old ones in productive activities, I think it would lead to a lot of happiness. So do you want to ask me or you want me to continue?
There is one more
Yes.
question in the chat box, ma'am. How to practice patience and resilience in a negative environment, like how toxic environments at home and work, from Miss Yusara.
So what was the first part? How do you?
How to practice patience and resilience in a negative environment, like toxic environments at home and work.
Right. So I'll tell you something that has worked for me. Okay. And that is my first test. Like if I recommend something to someone, you know, I want to use it first. You know, so it's like when you watch a movie and say, oh, it's a great movie. Then you ask the person, did you watch it? He says, no, I didn't watch it, but you watch it. It's a great movie. Seriously, it's such a great movie and you didn't watch it. So now here is how I feel. Because if you see, negativity has become majority now. You know, everybody is thinking negative. They don't mean to. They also want help, right? Let me ask you all a question. Have you ever been angry? Have you ever been depressed? Have you ever been negative? Yes, all of us have been at some point in our lives. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? No. In fact, you didn't know how to get out of it. You didn't know how to end it. And you were waiting at least somebody should understand. Correct? Now you can't help it but say something bad, and now the person says something worse. That is so bad. You are waiting that somebody should say, Beta, it's okay. I understand you're angry. I understand it's okay. That is all I wanted to hear, right? So imagine, put yourself in that situation. There was a time when I was angry, I was upset, I was crying, I was lost, you know, I was confused. What did I want? What did I expect from that person? What did I expect from my teacher, my mother, my sister, or my caretaker? I expected them to be a little patient and understanding. So, like I said, in your 1-2 minute of silence, you again remind yourself that people don't like to be angry, they don't like to be negative. So think good about people. You know, also please know that whatever you think about people, subconsciously you will start treating them like that. You know, if you start thinking, oh, he's a negative person, he's always like this, he's such a bad person, subconsciously your behavior, your body language will become like that toward that person. So it could be that day the person is in a happy mood. Could be, no, nobody is negative all 100 days. At least 2 days they might be happy by mistake. Yeah? So now imagine the fellow is happy and you come there and you are prepared, because in your head this person is a very bad person. So every day remind yourself that people want to feel good. He's stuck, you know, he's really stuck, he's sick. You know, a sick person, you can't expect him to sing a song, he needs help. So, and you are in that business, so every day to say a little prayer for everyone. You know, my grandfather was a priest, so what he used to do, and I practiced that so many times, every morning he would light a little lamp and say, let the world be well. You know, and then he would treat the world as if the world is well, and it would be well. So I know it's a lot of work to do within, but you know what, when you do a little bit work within, you don't have to do work outside. Everything will sort out. People will say, oh, Akshay has come, now I feel good. That's it. You know, when somebody is feeling bad, they'll say, call Gayatri. When somebody is feeling low, they'll say, I'll call Sangeeta. And I'll tell you, there are people like that. I have 2 friends, they are so positive, you know, and sometimes when I feel a little low, they live in UK, you know, I call them and sometimes their answering machine answers. I'm happy to hear that also. You know, that message on the answering machine is also enough to bring me with energy. So yes, it is more responsibility on your side, but it will serve you. You can't change the world. You've tried enough, right? You've tried enough to explain to people. You've tried enough to counsel them. And then you've come back home frustrated and lost faith in humanity and question yourself, why am I doing this? It's better to do the other way around, to understand that people are stuck. They really desperately want to go out of it. Their ways are contrary. He still shouts, but inside he's saying, help me. He's still negative, but inside he's hurting. Can you see that? You know, and You have the opportunity for greatness. Try it, little, try it. And then, you can have these Zoom calls often to bring power back to each other. Yes.
There is one more important question, ma'am, which we all are going through, many of us rather, from Mr. Janardana. How could daily earning lady can come out of depression? No earning due to COVID, because we are working, a lot of parents come from daily labor segment. Even here, if you see, there are, as I told you in before this seminar, there's a huge job loss, and a lot of
Right.
people going through depression.
Mm-hmm.
So how can we help them out?
So I'll tell you something. What comes out of this is that, uh, uh, there's this little story which says you should dig a well when you're not thirsty. Because when you're thirsty and you start digging the well, you're going to die digging the well. So now the good part is that there are some things you should take care of before crisis strikes. Okay, one thing, please send your children for vocational training, personality development, leadership development, communication skills. It will be life changing for them. Okay, because they need to learn life skills. Ultimately, there is no school and no college and no formal degree that taught us how to deal with loss and how to deal with crisis. Today, adults are also suffering. So at least that should give you a clue that these are also life skills. What is the point of the job? What is the point of the degree if I don't know how to handle this problem? Okay, now let me tell you, in a very young age, I learned one thing, okay, and it was, what do you love to do and what do you want to do? Okay, now I used to do personality development for kids. That's how actually I started my career. I did personality development workshops for thousands and thousands of children, and in that there was one activity which I'm going to tell you. It may be too late now, but it can still save you. Okay, so what we used to do was write all my strengths. You've heard of the SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Okay, let me focus only on S, which is strength, and O, which is opportunity. So what I would encourage people to do, kids to do, is write their strengths. Okay, so my strength is communication. My strength is writing, imagination. Don't question. Be like that video game, only applauding. If something is wrong, back to square one, no other disturbance. So write all your strengths. Now write at least 50 opportunities that will come from all your strengths. So I would write, what can I do if I love communication and if I have a great imagination? What are the opportunities for me? I can be a speaker, I can be a teacher, I can be a counselor, I can be an RJ, I can be, and so on and so forth. I can be a painter. I was good at painting. I can play the guitar and so on. You get it? So you form all of this. So what will happen in life is, let's say motivational speaking is cut out. No more motivational speaking. Does that mean I'm ruined? No, I can write. Now I go back to my list, what all I can do. Yes, I may have to start again from square one. I may not get paid as much as I did, but at least I'm productive. There is great happiness in being productive. Now, the minute the lockdown happened, my job as a speaker is gone. As a motivational speaker, there is no job. And I am not comfortable talking in the screen. I am used to looking at you, coming, shaking your hand, giving you a hug, and now I'm staring at a mobile phone in my living room. So it's difficult, but you have to very quickly change your mind. Now, what if I was not a speaker? What else can I do? Like I tell you, I was telling my cook, okay, she cooks fantastic food. So I told her, hey, we can start food delivery system. So there are so many things you can do alternate if you don't allow your ego to come in. If you don't say, oh, but I'm a speaker, how can I do this? Do this. Right now, do this. The world needs something. They need some help. I can post articles. I can do so much. See, I understand that at this moment, when negativity hits, it's very difficult to think. It's very difficult to think. So all this preparation should be prior. Look at avenues. If you go to the internet and if you just type keywords, work from home, high paying jobs, you will get at least 100 of them. Can you not do one? You know, can there not be somebody who needs online tuitions? Of course. Can there not be some? And today payment has become like you can pay through PayPal, you can pay through your mobile, you know. So there are so many opportunities if you allow yourself to deviate a little bit, to say, all right, let me try this. I need to make this work. Even if you have no problem of money, I want to be productive. I want to be useful. Because you know what? When this bad time goes, what will you tell your children? What did mama do? What did papa do? How did you handle it? Oh, no, no, no. The bad time came. I was depressed. I sat in one corner. So seriously, you could do nothing. You couldn't start a storytelling session online. You know, I'll do a webinar. I'll charge like 50 rupees for storytelling. Come join my webinar. I'll tell you a beautiful story. You know, so there's so much you can do. If you keep thinking, if you are creative, and if you don't allow your ego to come into the picture, you can do it.
Thank you, ma'am. Can we have one last query
Yes.
from? Before that, I would like to, we are also privileged to have with us today Madam Siddika Lavati, Director of Foreign Schools in Ministry of Education, Sultanate of Oman.
Wow.
Madam
Wow.
Siddika's support to Indian community is well known, and on behalf of everyone present here, we welcome you, Madam, for this session. And the question from Madam is very important. What can someone do if the boss at work is always negative with most of the staff? I think we all face that almost every day.
Yes, I know. You know, I always say this, that when you're going for a job, no, you evaluate your boss. Okay. Now, for example, let me tell you this thing. So I have an employee, he's still working with me. So after 6 years, he says, Madam, I want to look for another job. I said, go. You know, I mean, you feel bad. Somebody who's worked with you such a long time, they become family. But he had in his mind, I want to get another job. I said, okay, go. But I told him, when you go for the interview, you judge the person interviewing you. Is he nice? How does he talk? Is he kind? How is he dressed? What kind of phone does he have? What kind of shoes is he wearing? Because he's your future, right? When you look at him, you will know your future. You have to evaluate him. Do I want to become like him? Do I want his job in the future? Okay. So this boy went for the interview and he told me, he came back from the interview and he said, Madam, you have officially ruined my life. So I said, what did I do? He said, I looked at that fellow and I'm like, I never want to be like him. I never want to speak like him. He was so rude. He was so mean. He was behaving so arrogant. I don't want a boss like that. So look, whenever you're going to a workplace, okay, first of all, there's this 2-month probation period, right? In every job profile generally. What is that 2 months for? The 2 months is for the company to know whether you are useful for them. But those 2 months are also for you to know whether these are the right people for me. See, you will work, you will deliver your job, but are you happy? You've left your family behind and you've come here with these people. You're having lunch with them, you're having tea with them, you're having coffee with them. Your wife has been complaining you've not had lunch, tea or coffee with her for 10 years. Now that you dress up very well for all those people. Then you come home and you wear your stained t-shirts and torn clothes. You know, those comfortable clothes. You're not even dressed well for the family. So are those people good? Now, the signs always come in the beginning. You know, you can see it in the beginning. Nobody becomes bad, toxic and negative overnight. They are like that only. And look, they are not like that to you. They are like that only. So, in the early days, make a decision. Be vigilant. But if you're stuck, if you really are stuck, I would say move out of that toxic environment. Because you know what? What you can't change, you will convert to one day. That subconsciously you will convert into that. Ask your children, do you think I'm toxic? Now you write down all the traits of your boss. Okay, write everything you don't like. Now you ask your children, do you think I am like this? Chances are very high that 5 traits will match. Because that person, your boss, He doesn't know he's negative. He's become like that. And nobody's telling him to his face. So I would say change fast. Okay, look for other opportunities. And when you go to the next place, be vigilant. Learn to say no in the beginning. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to say no in the end. Yeah.
And ma'am, this Siddhika ma'am is asking, what if you're old at work, but the negative boss is new? That is, even I wanted to ask that, because sometimes we are already working and the boss is changing.
Yes.
So we
yes.
have the option of selecting.
Yes. See, I will also tell you one thing, that when a person is negative, no, they are impacting everybody. You will be amazed on how everybody is talking about that one person, but nobody is telling that person. You know, it's a good idea to report, to bring it to the other person, that look, this is the impact that is happening. Sometimes we are very scared that, oh, why shall I say? If I say, you know, they will all come to me. I might lose my job because he's my boss. But it's a nice way to say it differently. See, the same message can be given in 6 different ways. You know, and if you're old in the business, if you're old at the job, then you know people to talk to. What is HR for? And it's always nice to bring it out positively. What is your expectation? See, sometimes it may not be smart to highlight what is wrong. I'll give you an example. There was one fellow who had a fight with a journalist. Okay, the journalist wrote something wrong about him, and a very big journalist. So this guy came on YouTube. Okay, and we were thinking, oh my God, now there'll be such a big controversy. He will start spilling dirt on the journalist, and now it will blow up. But that fellow was so clever. He came live, and he said, I have admired this journalist for the longest time. He took out his past history on some of the greatest people he had interviewed, some of the greatest work he had done. And he said, I had so much admiration for him that I really did not expect this out of him. I think he has made a mistake. He has been influenced. There is somebody else behind it. But I did not expect this, and I would expect an apology. So let's say your boss is very negative. Do some study on your boss. Who is this fellow? Yeah. Take out 5-6 good points. And today you can come to know everything on the internet. Yeah, maybe he has a family. Maybe he has 2 daughters. You know, make a list of all the positive things, and now state how should things be. State what you want. Sometimes we make such a big deal of what is not right, and what I don't like, and what I don't want. But the problem doesn't go away. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want. It's like the fight between the husband and wife. You know, the husband will ask, what do you want? She'll say, you should know it. You know, and we can't know it, right? You have to tell what you want. You state it in this line, that this is how we want to be treated. This is what our culture is. This is what our values is. This is what our vision is. And our old boss, he was like this. And now you bring facts. You know, you did so much in your earlier company. We are very happy to have you. Remind them of what is right. Make that high. He is doing what is wrong. He has made it so high. You make the right so high. See, it's a longer way. You know, it's a way people are so attuned to responding negatively that if you tell them this peaceful right way, they will not agree with it. But try it nicely. Tell them, I don't mean harm. I love you. I want you in the organization. You know, but do you think this would be better? I would work better. You know.
Thank you, ma'am. And one last question from one of our youngest participant here, Jennifer. I think she's in grade 11. How to stop negativity? How to stop negativity and ignorance from pursuing our talents?
See, talent needs commitment. Okay. See, if today somebody says, oh, I want to be a cricketer. Okay. Do you know how much it's going to cost your parents to ensure that you become a cricketer? You know, it costs a lot of money. Even arranging for a bat and ball and wickets, even for arranging for a coach to encourage your talent. Please know that while that comes from your heart, I want to do this, but also it is going to have a financial implication and a time implication on part of your parents. Okay, so first thing, if you really feel I want to do this, you have to show commitment to it. Wake up at 4 in the morning, show me, wake up without the parents waking you up. You wake up on your own and go jogging. See, a cricketer, even if he doesn't have a bat and ball, he has to get in shape. Even Sachin Tendulkar doesn't wake up with the bat and ball. Yeah, he first goes for a run. He then does a warm up. He then does a lot of physical activity. Then he picks up the bat and ball. You show me that first. Okay, get that straight first. Like I'll tell you, for example, when I was young, I wanted to play the guitar. And my father said, I'm not buying you a guitar because this is your 2 days interest. You know what I mean? Yeah. 2 days interest. I'll buy you the guitar, then it'll keep sitting. And we all see that, right? It's fair to say that. You know what I did? I got a cardboard, the guitars, the cane. So I made the frets and I made the strings. I drew it and I started to practice on that. Who's stopping me? Who's stopping me from doing that? So one day, my father said, what is this cardboard thing with lines and like that? So I told him, Dad, that is the guitar I practice on. That day, my father took me and we bought a second-hand guitar. But prove it, first, that you have this talent, that it's not a 2 days thing because your friend is doing it. And now because that friend is doing it and you want to do it. Do you really want to do it? Can you show some commitment? Can you take up some time without anybody pushing you? Can you walk at least 10 steps? Then mommy and daddy will walk 90 steps with you. But first 10 steps you have to take, right? So if you can do that, you will be a genius. Forget your parents, your teachers, your friends, your family. The nation will support you. But first, at least you walk a little bit on your own.
I think we've completed the questions, ma'am.
Oh, you're most welcome. So before I go, can I leave you all with a story? Yeah, so I think stories work best. I'll tell you a small story. Okay, now let me tell you, first of all, what I really think of you. I looked up what you guys do. I even told my mom, she was also so inspired. You have power because I tell you the most difficult thing to do and the most highest, noblest thing to do is to help others. I feel a human being who has the capability to help others, to serve others continually is a very powerful person. And you have to know that it's all inside you. Nothing is outside. And even the people you help, the day they can believe, I have it in me, I can do it, your job is done, right? The day he says I can do it. There is no crutch outside, it's only mental. But sometimes, ignorance, negativity, we get influenced by it and we start making ourselves small. So I'll tell you this story. The story is set in Arabia. Okay. So there are these Arabians, very deserted place. There's a desert. Everybody is very poor. Okay. But there is this fellow who's a dreamer and he has a dream chart also, that when I become very rich, I will buy a pink Cadillac. As some fellow tourist must have come and dropped a magazine. The magazine had a car, a pink Cadillac. He said, this car I will buy when I become very rich. And you know what? When you ask specifically, what do you want? Don't tell God, you decide. And then he decided to give you nothing, right? That is like the husband asking, what do you want? You should know. And no, you tell. So the guy wrote, I want a pink Cadillac, and he stuck that picture. And that fellow struck gold. One day, behind his hut, they found oil. There were fountains of oil. And in Arabia, oil means you are rich now. That man became rich overnight. So when he got all that money, he said, what will I buy with it? Then he saw the picture of the pink Cadillac. Okay. So the order was placed. First time in the history of Arabia, a pink Cadillac was delivered. There were no roads, no nothing, but a pink Cadillac was delivered because it was the man's dream. Okay, so the Cadillac company was very excited, you know, our first car and so on. They left it there. Then they came back. Then after 3 months, they sent a service team complimentary that what the car would have gone through in the desert. Is it okay? Not okay? No phone, no nothing. So two of their mechanics went back to Arabia and they saw a huge palace. You know, that man was so rich. He had a palace. He had also built a road and so on. And then they asked, where is the fellow? I want to see the Cadillac. They said, the Arab has gone for a drive in the pink Cadillac. So the technician said, okay, we will wait. So they were waiting outside the gates of that palatial mansion. And they couldn't hear the car, you know, because you can hear, whoa, whoa, you can hear the sound it makes. So there was no sound, but they saw a cloud of sand, you know, like a dust cloud in the distance. And they said, oh my God, our car is coming. Okay. And then as the cloud of dust became nearer and nearer, they started to hear horses, tug-dug, 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 tug-dug. So the guys are wondering, the car is coming, but how can we hear horses? And then as it came closer, they saw 10 horses were pulling the pink Cadillac. And the Arab was sitting inside, you know, with his glasses and so on. And the technician said, oh my God, in 3 months, a car has gone kaput. Now he's pulling it with the 10 horses. So when the Cadillac came to the gate, the technicians were mortified, you know, that our car is the best in the world. And in 3 months, it is ruined. So the Arab looked very happy to see them. And the technician said, sir, what happened to the car? And the Arab said, it works just fine. Did you not see? I came from a drive. And the guy says, how can it be working fine? You have 10 horses pulling the car. And the Arab says, yes. He said, why are 10 horses pulling the car? And the Arab says, then how else will it run? How else will the car run? He has a car that has the power of 10,000 horses. But he doesn't know it. He has no clue. Therefore, he gets 10 horses to pull it from outside. The mechanic peeps in and he sees the key is still in the ignition. He just had to turn it. That's all he had to do. He doesn't need 10 horses. He has 10,000. And that is the power you hold. You don't need anybody from outside to come and do anything for you. Do you know? It is easy. I mean, giving life is easy, but nurturing life is the most difficult task. Ask the mother. You know, the carrying the baby, the labor was all okay. But in 2 years, you know, the next 9 months are more severe than the earlier 9 months. So nurturing life, ensuring that life grows into something beautiful, giving hope, I think is the greatest gift humanity can ever ask for. You have that power to give it. You leave all this corona and all of this. You start investing in yourself. You turn that key within. There are 10,000 horses. Find at least 2 every day. Every day sit with yourself and find 2 more things about you and 2 more things about you. You won't need anybody. In fact, the world needs you. And you know, when they'll say, you are great, you'll say, no, you are it also. You just have to find it in you. So that was the end of my talk. I know I've taken so much of your time. Look at this. It's like gone like forever. You all are listening. I can't even see you. Maybe you all have switched off, gone, had lunch, washed dishes and come back also.
No, ma'am.
So,
Thank you so much.
you.
We are engrossed in that story. Particularly, we could relate a lot. Like how much we are missing turning on that ignition. That's
Yes.
where our life is, and we are not doing that. And with a wonderful story, you just, I think you helped us start our car now. Thank
Oh,
you so much.
thank you.
It
No, you
was
all are doing an amazing job. I'm here to help. My mother is also here to help. If we can also be your hands and feet here in India, if there's something we can do, I'd be very, very happy to be a part of your initiative. You all are doing an awesome job. Yeah, this is an applause for all of you. Thank you for what you do.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to you and thanks to Sona, ma'am, also for joining us today. It was such a, happy moment here. And even now I can't believe that Priya Kumar, madam, is with all of us. Even now I'm not able to believe that. after that session
No,
also.
it's my pleasure. And you can stay connected with me. I'm on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, YouTube. I have a lot of videos on YouTube. You can stay connected with me. It would be a pleasure.
Definitely, ma'am. Definitely, we will follow you, because as you rightly said, motivation is not just one day and just forget. It's like every day's tonic. We have to have that dose of tonic.
Right. Right.
On behalf
So
of
thank you
everyone present here.
very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks to Sona ma'am also for joining us today.
Yes.
And thanks to Vijayata ma'am for really helping us. And she's been a lot connecting us, and very patient with me, I should say, for all my queries. Thanks to Vijayata ma'am. And
I
thanks
have
to
a
all.
very good team.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks to each and every one of
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. Bye. Thank
I
you.
love the session, ma'am. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
you are so cute. I want to bring you home. Come stay in my house. You're so cute, both of you. She has a frozen background at the back. So cute. You all have a mother. Your mother is a role model. You please stay in touch, huh? I'll follow
Sure,
you
ma'am.
back.
Definitely.
Huh.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to hear you today.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
And to all of you present here, before you log out, I would like to tell you one thing, that next week we are going to have Mr. Ramesh Aravind, actor and motivational speaker, who will be joining us. And it was again a big challenge for me to, get him. And he has agreed to be with us for half an hour. The timing, I will confirm, but it's on next Saturday, almost the same timing only. So my request, please don't miss his session. He is again another, apart from being an actor, beyond that acting thing, he's an excellent motivational speaker. He's been speaking. You can watch his videos in the YouTube. If you want, I will send you the link, and I will be very happy if you all can join. And I think that would be the last session of the Mother's Day, and because after that I will be starting my online teaching for parents. So kindly join us for the next session also. Thanks to each and every one of you for being with us today. Have a great day and have a great week. Bye.